When the world feels like it's shaking beneath your feet, when chaos and uncertainty surround you, that's not the moment to shrink back. It's the moment to rise. It's the testing ground of your strength, your courage, and your hunger for life. Most people see uncertainty as a curse, but the truth is uncertainty is the very soil in which growth is born. Without it, there's no progress, no breakthrough, no transformation. Think about it, the times in your life when you grew the most, when everything was perfect and predictable. It was when you were pushed, stretched, and forced to discover what you're really made of. Chaos is not your enemy, it's your invitation to evolve. The problem is, most people crave comfort, they want certainty, they want the illusion of control. But let me tell you something, certainty is a lie. Life doesn't give you guarantees, it gives you opportunities. And when the ground shakes, when things don't go as planned, you have a choice. You can collapse under the weight of fear, or you can take that fear, harness it, and turn it into fuel. If you want to thrive in times of uncertainty, you must master two things, your focus and your state. Whatever you focus on, you feel. If you focus on what's out of control, you'll feel powerless. But if you focus on what you can control, your attitude, your energy, your decisions, you become unstoppable. And your state, your emotional strength, that's your greatest weapon. Fear, anger, doubt. Those emotions paralyze. But passion, determination, gratitude, those emotions ignite you. They create momentum even in the darkest storm. You want certainty? Here's the only certainty: you have the power inside of you to adapt, to grow, to fight, to create meaning even when everything around you feels meaningless. When others freeze, you move. When others complain, you create. When others give up, you rise. That's how leaders are born. That's how legends are made. So when uncertainty shows up at your door, don't run. Welcome it. Use it. Let it sharpen you. Let it drive you. Let it remind you that you are far stronger, far more capable, far more resilient than you've ever imagined. Because the truth is, chaos doesn't destroy the strongest, it reveals them. When the ground beneath you feels unstable, when the air feels thick with fear and doubt, when the world seems like it's spinning out of control, that's not the moment to step back, it's the moment to lean in. Because life doesn't test you in times of ease, it tests you in the fire. Chaos and uncertainty are not punishments, they are the raw materials of transformation. Think about history. Every great leader, every innovator, every person who left a mark on this world didn't rise when things were calm. They rose when the world was chaotic. They didn't wait for certainty because certainty never came. They acted in spite of the chaos. They used uncertainty as a tool, as a weapon, as a catalyst to create something greater than themselves. But here's the problem most people face when uncertainty shows up. They freeze. They start to think, what if I fail? What if it doesn't work? What if I lose everything? And in that moment, fear steals their future. Fear robs them of action. Fear convinces them that waiting, hiding, hesitating is safer. But what they don't realize is that hesitation kills more dreams than failure ever will. Let me tell you something, if you want to thrive in times of uncertainty, you cannot live by the rules of comfort. You must live by the laws of growth. Growth does not come from knowing every step ahead. Growth comes from taking the first step when the path is dark, because the only way forward is through action, not through waiting for clarity. Uncertainty is the ultimate gift, because it forces you to discover a part of yourself you would never meet in comfort. When you're in control, when everything's predictable, you don't tap into your deepest resourcefulness. But when everything's falling apart, when the storm is raging, you reach for strength you didn't even know you had. And that strength becomes permanent. That's the beauty of uncertainty. It introduces you to the version of yourself that can never be destroyed. So the first key to thriving in chaos is to shift your perspective. Stop asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this making of me? Because life isn't happening to you, life is happening for you. Every challenge, every failure, every moment of uncertainty is shaping you, molding you, strengthening you into the kind of person who can handle more, lead more, give more, and live more. But shifting perspective isn't enough. You must master your focus. Your focus is your destiny. If you focus on what's wrong, you'll drown in fear. If you focus on what you can't control, you'll feel helpless. But if you focus on what's within your power, your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, you will find certainty in the midst of uncertainty. Because while you can't control the storm, you can control how you sail your ship. Every day you have a choice. You focus on the chaos or focus on the opportunity. Focus on what you've lost or focus on what you can build. Focus on the fear or focus on the strength you're cultivating. The choice is yours, and that choice determines whether you collapse or whether you thrive. Now let's talk about your state, your emotional strength. You've got to understand something. Success is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. You can have all the strategies, all the plans, all the tools in the world, but if your mind and heart are in a state of fear, you will sabotage yourself before you even begin. That's why mastering your state is the most important skill you can develop in uncertain times. How do you do that? You condition your emotions the same way you condition your body. You don't wait for courage to show up. You create it. You don't wait for passion to spark, you ignite it. You don't wait for energy, you generate it. Motion creates emotion. When you change your physiology, your breathing, your posture, your movement, you change your state. You cannot stand tall, breathe deep, move with power, and feel weak at the same time. So when fear creeps in, don't collapse into it. Rise up, breathe deeper, move stronger, stand taller, because your body is the lever to your mind. And when you change your body, you change your destiny. Now let's take it deeper. Thriving in chaos requires a different identity. Most people live in reaction to the world around them. They let circumstances dictate who they are. But if you want to thrive, you cannot let the world define you. You must decide who you are in advance, because identity is destiny. If your identity is, I'm fragile, I'm weak, I'm a victim, then uncertainty will crush you. But if your identity is, I am unshakable, I am a creator, then no storm can break you. And here's the truth. The world will always test your identity. Life will ask you, are you really who you say you are? And in those moments of chaos, your actions will either confirm or deny your identity. So claim it, own it, live it. Say to yourself, I am not a person who survives uncertainty. I am a person who thrives in it. I am not a person who runs from chaos. I am a person who uses chaos to create breakthroughs. Do you feel the difference? It's not about waiting for certainty to arrive. It's about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need certainty to take action, because certainty is an illusion, but confidence is a decision. And confidence comes from stacking evidence that you can handle whatever life throws at you. Every time you act in spite of fear, you stack evidence. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you stack evidence. Every time you move forward when others hold back, you stack evidence. And the more evidence you stack, the more unshakable you become. But there's another piece, meaning. Humans can handle almost any how if they have a strong enough why. In times of chaos, you must anchor yourself to meaning. Ask yourself, what am I fighting for? Who am I doing this for? What does this challenge mean for the bigger picture of my life? Because when the pain has a purpose, the struggle becomes fuel. If you believe uncertainty is the end, you'll collapse. But if you believe uncertainty is the beginning of something greater, you'll rise. Meaning transform suffering into strength, chaos into clarity, fear into fuel. And don't forget, energy is contagious. In times of chaos, people are looking for certainty. They're looking for a leader. They're looking for someone who can stay calm, stay focused, stay strong when the world is falling apart. If you can be that person, not only will you thrive, you will elevate everyone around you. That's leadership. Leadership isn't about titles or positions. It's about energy, influence, and example. And in chaos, leadership is more valuable than gold. So here's the question: what state will you live in? What story will you tell yourself? What identity will you embody? Because uncertainty is inevitable, but suffering is optional, chaos is unavoidable, but thriving is a choice. You've got to decide that no matter what happens, no matter how dark, how uncertain, how chaotic, you will not shrink. You will expand. You will not break. You will bend, adapt, rise, and grow. Because thriving in uncertainty isn't about avoiding the storm. It's about becoming the storm. It's about becoming a force of nature that nothing can stop. And let me remind you of something. You've already done it. Think back to your past. Think about the times you thought you couldn't make it, the times you thought you were done, the times you thought it was over. Yet here you are, stronger, smarter, more resilient. Life has already proven to you that you can handle more than you thought. So when uncertainty knocks, remember, you faced worse and you came out stronger. This is your time. This is your season, not to retreat, but to rise, not to hide, but to lead, not to fear, but to create. The world doesn't need more people frozen by uncertainty. The world needs people who thrive in it, people who use chaos as a playground for greatness, people who turn crisis into transformation. Because at the end of the day, it's not the easy times that define you. It's the uncertain times, the chaotic times, the times when everything feels impossible. That's where your legacy is written. That's where your destiny is forged. That's where you discover who you really are. When the ground shakes beneath you, when you're thrown into the unknown, that's not the end of your story. It's the birthplace of greatness. Every storm, every collapse, every piece of chaos is a hidden invitation to rise into a higher version of yourself. And I know what you might be thinking, but it's hard. I'm scared. I don't know what's coming next. Of course you don't. None of us do. But here's the truth. Certainty is not what makes life meaningful. It's uncertainty that makes life alive. Think about it. If you knew every detail of your life in advance, if you knew every twist, every turn, every outcome, you wouldn't feel alive. You'd feel trapped. It's uncertainty that creates possibility. It's chaos that cracks open the door to reinvention. Without uncertainty, you're stuck living yesterday over and over again. But with uncertainty, you have the power to create a new tomorrow. When times are uncertain, most people cling tighter to what they know. They play small. They shrink their dreams. They protect themselves from risk. But what they don't realize is that the walls they build to protect themselves also become the walls that imprison them. Playing small doesn't keep you safe. It just guarantees you'll never grow. The ones who thrive are the ones who lean into the unknown, who look chaos in the eye and say, you will not define me. I will define this moment. They're the ones who see opportunity where others see obstacles. They're the ones who say, this isn't the end, this is the beginning. But let's be real, thriving in chaos doesn't happen by accident. It requires mastery, mastery of your focus, mastery of your emotions, mastery of your actions, and mastery of your meaning. And it starts with a decision, not a half-hearted wish, not a maybe someday, but a bold, unshakable decision that says, no matter what happens, I will not just survive this, I will use it, I will grow from it, I will thrive through it. Because here's the reality, the quality of your life is not determined by what happens to you. It's determined by what you decide to do with what happens to you. When the world throws uncertainty at you, you have two options: retreat or advance. Retreat is easy. You hide, you complain, you wait for the storm to pass. But here's the secret: storms don't pass by themselves. They pass because you decide to walk through them. Retreat leaves you stuck in the same place, powerless, waiting for life to save you. Advance is different. Advance says, I can't control the storm, but I can control how I move through it. Advance says, I don't need certainty to take action. I create certainty by taking action. Now let me give you something powerful. The reason most people crumble in uncertainty is because they've conditioned themselves to only feel strong when things are predictable. They've trained themselves to only feel secure when life gives them answers. But if you want to thrive, you've got to flip that conditioning. You've got to train yourself to feel most alive, most powerful, most focused in the middle of uncertainty. You've got to link chaos to opportunity in your nervous system so that when things get tough, you don't panic, you come alive. How do you do that? You practice it daily. Every time something doesn't go your way, every time life throws you a curveball, instead of saying, why me? You say, this is my training. This is my chance to get stronger. This is my chance to rise. That repetition rewires your brain. It conditions you to not only handle uncertainty, but to crave it, to thrive in it, to own it. Let me tell you something else. In uncertain times, clarity doesn't come first. Courage does. Too many people wait for clarity before they move. They wait until they know the outcome, until they have every answer. And that's why they never move. If you wait for clarity, you'll wait forever. Courage is the spark. Clarity comes after you move. Action creates clarity. Courage creates momentum. And once you take that first step, once you decide to act in the middle of the unknown, something magical happens. You begin to trust yourself again. And that's the most important certainty of all. Not certainty in the world, not certainty in circumstances, but certainty in yourself. That's what thriving in chaos is all about: cultivating unshakable self-trust, knowing that no matter what comes, no matter how unpredictable, you will figure it out, you will adapt, you will rise. That trust doesn't come from reading about it, it comes from living it, from taking action again and again until your nervous system knows, I've been here before, I've faced the unknown before, and every single time I found a way through. And now let's talk about energy. In times of chaos, energy is everything. Fear drains energy. Doubt drains energy. Complaining drains energy. But passion, vision, gratitude, hunger, those emotions create energy. They multiply it, and energy is contagious. When you walk into a room full of fear, but you're radiating certainty, confidence, and possibility, you shift the entire environment. That's what leaders do. Leaders don't just manage chaos, they transform it with their energy. And make no mistake, you are a leader. Whether you lead a company, a family, a team, or just your own life, you are leading someone, and in uncertain times, the way you show up determines not only your future, but theirs. When you rise, others rise. When you stand tall, others find the courage to stand tall with you. Now, here's something to think about. The people who thrive in chaos are not the ones with the most resources. They're the ones who are the most resourceful. Resourcefulness is eternal. Money, status, opportunities, they can vanish in an instant. But creativity, determination, resilience, hunger, those live inside of you. Those are the ultimate resources. When the world strips away certainty, it strips away your illusions. And in that raw space, you discover your true resources. You discover your grit. You discover your adaptability. You discover that you can create something out of nothing. And once you discover that, you can never lose it again. Uncertainty is life's greatest teacher. It teaches you to let go of control. It teaches you to find meaning in the madness. It teaches you to trust in your own power. And it teaches you that the most important certainty is not in the environment. It's in your decisions, your state, and your identity. So when chaos comes, don't fight it. Flow with it. Don't fear it. Use it. Don't see it as the end. See it as the beginning. Because chaos is the birthplace of reinvention. Uncertainty is the mother of possibility. And the storm you're in today is the strength you'll carry forever. Chaos doesn't knock on your door politely. It doesn't ask for permission. It storms in unannounced, flips the table, and dares you to react. And in that moment, most people crumble. They focus on what's been taken, what's uncertain, what feels impossible. But the ones who thrive, the ones who rise, are the ones who decide, this chaos will not break me. This chaos will build me. Think about the entrepreneurs who started with nothing but a vision. They didn't wait for the economy to be stable, for the world to hand them guarantees. They built empires in recessions and wars in unpredictable environments. Why? Because they didn't depend on certainty. They created their own certainty through action, through belief, through relentless pursuit of possibility. When everyone else was frozen, they moved. When others saw collapse, they saw opportunity. When others panicked, they asked, what can I create here? How can I turn this into something greater? And that's the difference. Thriving isn't about avoiding chaos. It's about deciding that chaos is the canvas on which you will paint your masterpiece. Think about athletes who perform under pressure. It's one thing to win when the crowd is cheering, when everything is going your way, when the scoreboard is in your favor. But the great ones, the legends, they're born when the game is on the line, when the pressure is suffocating, when everything is stacked against them. That's when they thrive. That's when they dig deep into a part of themselves most people never touch. And that same energy lives inside of you. The question is, will you access it? Will you demand it? Will you call it out of yourself when life throws you into uncertainty? Because it's not that some people are born with resilience and others aren't. Resilience is built in the furnace of adversity. Grit is sculpted in the fire of chaos. Confidence is forged in the unknown. When everything feels uncertain, you can still be certain of one thing: your ability to adapt, to grow, to push, to create. That's what makes humans extraordinary. We are not built to sit in comfort forever. We are built to evolve, to stretch, to expand beyond what we thought possible. And nothing stretches you faster, deeper, and stronger than chaos. But here's the trap. Most people see uncertainty and they attach the wrong meaning to it. They say, this means I'm unsafe. This means I'm doomed. This means I'm powerless. But uncertainty doesn't mean those things. Uncertainty simply means possibility. Possibility for something new, something different, something extraordinary. When you attach empowering meaning to uncertainty, it transforms your entire experience. Suddenly the chaos becomes fuel. The unknown becomes exciting. The storm becomes your training ground, because meaning equals emotion and emotion equals action. Change the meaning and you change your life. Let me give you a tool. Ask yourself in moments of uncertainty, if this is happening for me, not to me, then what's the gift? What's the lesson? What's the opportunity hiding in this chaos? At first, your brain might resist. It might scream, there is no gift here. This is just pain. But if you keep asking, if you demand an empowering meaning, your mind will eventually deliver. And when it does, that meaning will transform how you show up. That's what thriving in uncertainty is all about. It's not about pretending the chaos isn't real. It's about using it, reframing it, turning it into something that empowers you rather than weakens you. And let's talk about hunger. Hunger is the ultimate weapon in times of chaos, because the person who's hungry will find a way when no way seems possible. The person who's hungry will knock down walls, will break through barriers, will keep moving when everyone else quits. Hunger is what separates those who merely survive from those who thrive. When times are easy, hunger gets soft. Comfort makes you complacent. But when chaos hits, hunger either wakes up or you get left behind. So ask yourself, what do you hunger for? What's the vision that's bigger than your fear? What's the outcome that's more powerful than your uncertainty? Because when your hunger is greater than your fear, chaos doesn't stop you. It fuels you. Remember, this life isn't about avoiding storms. It's about becoming the kind of person who can dance in the rain, who can surf the waves, who can stand in the middle of the hurricane and still move forward. That's mastery. That's power. That's freedom. Look at nature, it's pure chaos, and yet it thrives. Forest fires destroy, but from the ashes comes stronger growth. Storms devastate, but they also renew, they also reshape. Rivers change course, mountains erupt, oceans roar, and still life finds a way. You are no different. Chaos is not here to destroy you. It's here to reveal you, to burn away what no longer serves you, to shake loose what you've outgrown, to carve out space for the person you're meant to become. You've got to stop seeing uncertainty as an interruption and start seeing it as initiation. It's not life being unfair. It's life preparing you for more strength, more impact, more greatness. Because no diamond is created without pressure. No sword is forged without fire. And no great life is built without chaos. The truth is, we don't grow when life is easy. We grow when life tests us. When life stretches us, when life puts us in situations that force us to dig deeper, to think bigger, to act bolder than ever before. And right now, whatever chaos you're in, that's your chance. That's your moment. That's the stage on which you get to show yourself what you're really made of. And here's something powerful. Chaos doesn't just reveal your weaknesses, it reveals your strengths. You might think you're at your limit, that you can't handle anymore. But chaos will prove to you that you are stronger than you've ever given yourself credit for. It will show you that the ceiling you thought you had was just an illusion, that you can break through, rise higher, and become more than you imagined. So stop waiting for certainty. Stop wishing for comfort. Stop hoping the storm will pass. Decide right now that you will not only face the storm, you will thrive in it, Because chaos is not a curse. Chaos is your catalyst. Chaos is your chance to rise into the strongest, boldest, most unstoppable version of yourself. So when the storm rages, when the ground shakes, when uncertainty surrounds you, remember this chaos is not here to break you. It is here to awaken you. It is not your enemy. It is your training ground. Life doesn't demand you be perfect. It demands you be courageous. It demands that you step into the unknown, that you rise when it's easier to fall, that you lead when it's easier to hide. Because in the end, the world doesn't remember those who waited for certainty. The world remembers those who created certainty within themselves. The ones who decided, I will not just survive this storm, I will become the storm, I will use it, I will grow through it, I will thrive because of it. That is your calling. That is your power. And if you embrace it, if you choose to rise in times of uncertainty and chaos, you won't just change your own life. You'll inspire everyone around you to rise as well. And that's how leaders are born. That's how legends are made. That's how history is written.